And India Today's Ashraf and Ashutosh Mishra now join me from Ground Zero in Beirut. Ashraf, the situation in Beirut right now, through the night, there were these Israeli Air Force fighter jets that were pounding various parts of Lebanon. Apparently, a ammunition depot is what IDF tells us was destroyed. One, is that true on ground? What was the impact of this pounding in Beirut?
Yes, Gaurav, absolutely. Each and every target of Hezbollah is being targeted here by the IDF. And about the ammunition depot, there is not only one ammunition depot of Hezbollah. There are hundreds of such ammunition depots, some in the south, some in the central, and some in the east and even north. So one of this ammunition depot was targeted in the previous night. But for day long, that area was encircled by the Hezbollah security personnel, so that there could be some kind of exclusion. That was why no one, including the media, was not allowed to visit that area. But for the long, in fact, we can say for last 12 hours, smoke is coming out still from that apartment, or we can say from that building. This is a series of aerial strikes what are being carried out during the day, in fact, in the night. Today afternoon, when there was rescue work going on, we can say the removal of the debris of one of the compartments, Israeli Air Force again targeted that particular area in the south suburb of Beirut. Not only in the Beirut, but in fact, there is a continuous Air Force strike from the Israeli army going on in the southern part of the Lebanon, where currently the army and armed forces of Israel are making ground invasion in different parts near the border of South Lebanon.
And that makes the situation extremely precarious, Ashutosh. Now that Israeli ground forces are coming in, we are told Yoav Gallant, the Israeli defense minister, he's interacted with soldiers of the 36th division. There are elements of the 91st division of the Israeli army. Some of those elements have already gone inside hostile territory, and some of those elements are trying to destroy Hezbollah camps. What are you picking up on the other side? What's the situation on ground with civilians? What's the situation on ground with foreigners?
Well, this the magnitude of this escalation that we see, Gaurav, reminds exactly the October 1973, the kind of Arab versus Israel war. So it looks like Israel is being cornered by multi-dimension battle from Iran to Yemen to Syria, and now even, of course, the escalating situation in Lebanon. Clearly, as far as Lebanon, Beirut is concerned, you hardly find any tourist here. What I have just heard from the UNHRC, more than 1 million Lebanese have evacuated from the southern side, and as we speak, the government has just announced there is a massive fuel and food crisis happening in the southern part, because despite warning and notice and hostile situation, thousands of these people are still living in the southern those villages, and now the supply chain has already been disrupted, and particularly after the attacking in the central part, like literally reaching the airstrike to the Beirut, in the southern Beirut, that is also escalating the situation, is now the worrying and concerning, alarming situation for the local government, because now the fuel and other crisis, the government will also be on back foot. Also, the Hezbollah fighters, those who are being, in a precise strike, they are being targeted in these areas. They are also looking a safer location in the northern and the central part. And if that happens, what we know, the kind of intelligence that Israel is using, clearly the airstrike would also escalate further, advancing towards even north and central area. So that makes situation really alarming for the people of Lebanon, those who are worrying that once Hezbollah moves their base from south to the localities in the residential area, in the commercial area, VVIPs area like Hamara and others, that will really escalate it further. And so far, Lebanon is all alone. There is no such support for the Hezbollah fighters, because Iran is fighting its own battle. Yemen, as we speak, has fired one ballistic missile from the Houthi group. But here, Israel has the air dominance on Lebanon. It carried out airstrike. The ground troops are also neutralizing the Hezbollah forces in the southern part, so it is also being cornered, and that makes situation very difficult, not only for the Hezbollah but also the civilians of Lebanon, Gaurav.
Keep tracking that story, but do stay safe. It's a very, very precarious battlefield that both you and Ashraf are reporting from. Ashutosh Mishra and Ashraf for joining me here on India Today. Many thanks.